In this video, we're talking about exactly how to find fractional work. And this is an important conversation because most fractional executives believe that finding work is about posting more content on LinkedIn, when what they really need is a concrete system built on visibility and engagement. First, I'm going to explain why posting content is actually the least effective way to find clients and what you should be doing instead. Then I'll walk you through the exact 5-step system that you need to build to make high-value clients come to you. I'll share why engaging with your Dream 100 is the ultimate pipeline hack. I'll also explain how to leverage other people's audiences so you don't have to build your own from scratch. And lastly, I'll show you the exact filtering mechanism you need to put in place so you can stop wasting time on discovery calls with people who are never going to buy. Let's dive in. When you first start looking for fractional work, you probably rely on your existing network. You reach out to former colleagues, you get a few referrals, and the conversations come easily. But that momentum is borrowed, not built. And when that borrowed momentum runs out, panic sets in. You respond with effort. You start posting on LinkedIn every day, hoping someone will see your brilliance and hire you. But here's the hard truth. Posting is passive. Posting is standing on your front porch shouting into the wind. If you want to find fractional work predictably, you have to stop confusing activity with structure. You have to stop relying on accidental referrals and passive posting. You have to build a concrete 5-step system that forces visibility and drives intentional conversation. The first concrete step to finding fractional work is building an intentional entry point. You need a mechanism that attracts your ideal client 24/7, even when you are busy delivering work for another client. This means you need to build a highly specific lead magnet. I'm not talking about a generic checklist or a fluffy white paper. I'm talking about a diagnostic tool or a mini framework that solves one specific piece of their pain point, something they worry about at 2 a.m. in the morning, and that little devil is sitting on their shoulder, talking to them in their ear. If you're a fractional CFO, your lead magnet should be something like cash flow diagnostic template. That helps the CEO see exactly where they are bleeding money. If you're a fractional CMO, try a marketing ROI calculator that shows exactly where their campaigns are wasting budget. You put this lead magnet on your website and you link it everywhere. When a CEO downloads that tool, they're raising their hand. They're saying, I have this specific problem. You're no longer guessing who needs your help. The second step is where almost everyone gets it wrong. They think they need to post more content. But engaging is definitely more important than posting. You need to identify your Dream 100. These are the 100 specific CEOs, founders, or adjacent experts that you want to work with or get referrals from. You don't wait for them to find your posts. You go to their posts. You leave thoughtful executive grade comments on their content. You add value to their conversations. When you engage consistently with your Dream 100, you're forcing visibility. You show up in their notifications every single week. You build a relationship based on mutual respect before you even ask for a meeting. Stop shouting into the wind and start having targeted conversations in the comments. The third step is to massively scale your visibility by leveraging OPA, other people's audiences. Building your own audience from scratch can take years. But right now, there are podcasts, there are stages, there are newsletters that already have the exact attention of your ideal buyers. You need to borrow that attention. You need to pitch yourself as a guest on an industry-specific podcast. You need to apply to speak on a stage at niche conferences where your buyers are sitting in the audience. You need to write guest posts for publications that your target market reads every morning. When you leverage OPA, you instantly inherit the trust and authority of the host. And at the end of every podcast, every speech, every article, what do? You point them directly back to the lead magnet you built in step 1. The fourth step is to get inside the closed doors where real conversations are happening. You need to engage inside specialized niche communities. But you aren't just looking for potential clients. You're looking for the people who help sell and fund your target clients. You're looking for the fractional CFOs who can refer you as a fractional CMO. You're looking for the software vendors who need your technical expertise to close their deals. You're looking for the venture capitalists who need adult supervision with their portfolio companies. When you engage inside these communities, you're not pitching your services. You're answering questions. You're providing diagnostic value. You're providing your expertise in real time to the exact people who hold the keys to your next contact. The fifth and final step is to separate interest from intent before you even get on a call. When you execute the first 4 steps, you're going to generate a lot of interest. But in fractional work, interest is cheap. Intent is what pays your bills. If you take every discovery call that comes your way, you will exhaust yourself talking to tire kickers. You need to implement a strict filtering mechanism. When someone downloads your lead magnet or hears you on a podcast and asks for a call, you do not just send them a Calendly link. You send them a short intake form and you ask them 3 very specific questions. 1, what is the biggest challenge you are facing right now? 2, what have you already done to try to fix this? And number 3, what is the financial impact if this problem isn't solved in the next 90 days? If they won't take 3 minutes to answer those questions, they're not a serious buyer. A real pipeline does the heavy lifting even before the call ever happens. So when we talk about how to find fractional work, we're not talking about passive posting or relying on accidental referrals. We're talking about a concrete 5-step system, building a highly specific lead magnet to act as your entry point, engaging with your Dream 100 instead of just posting into the void, leveraging other people's audiences through podcasts and stages, engaging inside niche communities with the people who help sell and fund your clients, and implementing a strict intake form to weed out those tire kickers. When you build this intentional system, finding fractional work stops becoming a desperate hustle. It becomes a predictable flow of high-value conversations. Now that you understand the 5 concrete steps to build a system to find fractional work, if you want to see how all these components fit together in a larger business model, go watch this video next, the system behind the predictable pipeline for fractional executives. In that video, you'll see how to connect these specific actions into a single cohesive structure instead of relying on disconnected tactics. Go watch that video next.